Hey, Georgia.
Yeah,
What you doing?
I'm sitting on my couch talking to you.
Heather.
Yes,
What you doing?
absolutely nothing.
Matt.
Hello.
What you doing?
I'm lying down.
Georgia, do you want to give an introduction about what's going on here?
I guess. We have broken new ground on those girls with the podcast.
Jesus.
Because for the first time ever, we have a guy.
On the
Just some
podcast.
guy we found.
So what is the name of this episode?
I don't know yet.
know.
I make those up 5 minutes before I upload them to YouTube.
Yeah, it's usually her.
That's been my go-to method for the past year. I just make
My
them
last
up.
episode, vomiting derp sharks, so I never know where you get the title.
I just, sometimes I'll skip to certain parts in the episode and I'll take, little keywords and I'm like, oh, okay, that happened. Because sometimes I don't remember. So, and I'll just put it in the title. And sometimes I'll, lie awake at night and I'm like, oh, that would be a good title. But then I completely forget by the morning. But most of the time I just make it up, while I'm uploading it and writing the description. And I'll just do that.
We'll come up with a cool title for this later.
Okay.
So for now, we have a guy named Welshy. Welcome.
Is it still okay to call you Welshy, even though you won't be making any more videos?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's never. Why stop now? It's never gonna stop. It's never gonna stop. Every time I get a new job, somebody in the job goes, "I know you," and then they Google and they go, "Oh my God, you're Welshy." I'll never get away. But I'm okay with that.
How are you today, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry. There's another. I've heard Gear talk and I've heard Georgia talk. There's another person here I've not heard say a word. Who is this other person?
Heather.
I'm mute.
Oh no, I feel really, really, really rude. Hello, Heather.
Hello.
Heather's okay.
I'm just lurking. It's okay.
When Game of Thrones gets brought up, then that's when she talks. But
and then it won't stop.
Yeah, and then we won't stop. Both of us, we won't stop.
I just got my friend into it, so I'm trying to get her into Breaking Bad. She still hasn't started watching Breaking Bad, even though I bought her series 1, 2, and 3. I got her into Game of Thrones. I downloaded season 2 and 3, 4, and I think she's watched them all. So she's now completely up to date as far as the show goes.
I still need to watch Breaking Bad and the
Yes, you do.
The Walking Dead.
I'm not so much about that, but Breaking Bad, yes, you do.
Yeah, I know a lot of the stuff that happens, but I really don't care. I know how it ends, because there was no escape from it when it happened, and happened to be on the internet when it happened, and it just all happened, and I'm like, well...
I went on internet lockdown for 24 hours and avoided anything to do with anything internet, anything ever, and then went on Netflix and watched it, because in the UK... we don't get Breaking Bad on normal TV in the UK because they won't show it because of the crystal meth angle.
Uh-huh.
So our Netflix in the UK struck up a deal with AMC where when AMC would show the episode literally straight after the episode of broadcast, they put it on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So people in the UK could watch it, and that's where I was watching it. I'd literally wake up on the Monday morning and just start watching it at, say, 9 o'clock in the morning or 10 or whenever I decided to wake up. And that's how I was able to get up to date with it.
So that's what happens with the AMC shows and the HBO shows. They go onto Netflix over there.
No. It was only Breaking Bad because Breaking Bad.
So you guys didn't get Walking Dead or Mad Men or anything?
We don't get that, no. Breaking Bad just got this huge cult following in the UK because I was working in HMV when Breaking Bad stuff started, and I was putting it out, just on the shop floor, because I was in the TV section. I didn't think anything of it, I was putting it out. People would also every now and again would inquire about it, but it's that wonderful thing of a slow burn, where it went from mildly popular to cult following to mainstream. It did that in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's and the fact that it went out on top as well. It went out at the height of its powers, sort of thing. Where very few shows ever get to do that.
Oh yeah.
Most of them get run into the ground. And again, most American shows, I got to say, that get run into the ground because the frustrating thing about a lot of UK TV is that they stop it. You could say they stop it before, it gets monotonous, but at the same time, you want more.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Faulty Towers, there's The Office, there's Extras, there's a lot of things in the UK. Father Ted, the IT Crowd, that they just seem to stop them. You want more of them, and they
Yeah,
stop them.
I was so surprised when I found out, like, really early on when I started watching The American Office. And I'm like, what's this British Office? And this is, like, years ago. And I'm like, the British Office was really short, but The American Office went for, like, 9 years or something like that.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
British Office was 2 seasons, which was 6 episodes a series, sorry, and then there was a special, a 2-part special, which they run over Christmas. So we had 2 episodes, and that was it. It was done. And Ricky went off to do Extras, which was a huge hit. Then he did, then he became a bit of a movie star, and then he did An Idiot Abroad, which is
The greatest thing ever put on television.
Oh, she knows all about Ricky Gervais, trust me.
Mr. Kyle Pilkington.
I still want to read all of his books. I love how on Goodreads he is like the author of about 5 books. I'm like,
Have you ever seen the podcast that he does?
yes, I
Ricky
have listened
Gervais?
to it. Oh yeah, and I watched the little. Most of the time, how I catch up on it is I watch the series that they run on HBO. Or they used to run on HBO. Now they just run reruns. But
Yeah, the animation, isn't it? The animated one.
yeah,
Yeah, I know. I do love Carl Pilkington. He's such a genius, but a
Yeah.
strange man.
I can't wait for he's doing a little docu-series, The Moaning of Life, and I really can't wait for that. It looks-
Moaning of life.
The Moaning of Life.
All he does is moan. That's
Yeah.
all he does. But he moans about wonderful things and things that, like Ricky asked him, no, Kyle said he looked up the word dictionary in the dictionary and it's in there. And he was like, well, why is it in there? He was moaning about that. Yeah. And Ricky asked him, well, what is a dictionary? And Kyle goes, well, it's a big book full of words. And Ricky turns around and goes, every book is a big book full of words.
I think Stephen Merchant did an AMA on Reddit, and they asked him what question asked by Carl stands out to you the most as like the funniest or dumbest thing you've ever heard in your life. And Stephen said, when he asked, what are those things in the movie Gremlins called?
No, if you've never watched it, just go online, just go to YouTube and type in Ricky Gervais podcast, Ricky Gervais show, or just Carl Pilkington, because the way this man's mind works is amazing. And sometimes Ricky will ask him a question, and it's just like, what sort of superpower would you have? And Kyle will turn this into like a half-hour discussion,
Yeah.
and he won't even answer the question. He's like the world's greatest politician. He just will not answer a question straight.
That is a good question. What kind of superpower would you have?
Me? Oh, I'd be invisible.
You would.
Yeah,
I
I'd be
can see you
invisible.
doing all these curvy things, being invisible. You would do
Well,
that.
it's not that I could get so much dirt and stuff on people that it'd be so much easier to troll them.
Oh god.
Yeah, that would probably be better.
And I live for trolling.
I'm actually watching Stephen Merchant's show right now, Hello Ladies.
Is that good?
It's really funny. I think it's really funny. It's really cringe comedy based, where it's like he does something and he's like, oh no, and then like he just makes it worse for like the next 10 minutes, and I'm like, no, stop it. But his character is so pathetic that you just have to keep watching it. Like, he plays like a jerk, and a pathetic jerk, basically trying to get a girlfriend all the time. And Stephen Merchant says it's very loosely based off of his life. Once he moved to LA and he's been trying to find a wife, and it's also based off a stand-up special he did. But it's really funny. I love the characters in it, and I love how he's not just like the only pathetic character. Like, there's a woman character in that show who he's really charming with, but she's also just equally as pathetic when it comes to like her acting and people.
They're gonna get together, aren't they?
What is it with the Brits? The thing about the Brits is we always seem to be good at is playing that pathetic character.
Yeah,
We're very good at it.
I love that Ricky Gervais's show Derek is getting a lot of attention, because I really liked that show too.
Any
Ricky
question.
Gervais just seems to be he just seems to be able to do no wrong these days. He just seems whatever he seems to touch just seems to work.
Yeah.
You're right.
Did you ever see his Life's Too Short show?
Yeah,
With Warwick
I saw that with Warwick Davis.
Did you see the Warwick Davis episode with Johnny Depp?
Yeah, actually, I've seen the clip. I haven't seen the whole episode. I think I've only
That is
seen.
probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. I like the one with Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson is in there too.
I like Liam Neeson. Yeah,
Yeah.
Liam Neeson is. Yeah.
Yeah, the one with Johnny was really funny because I'm such a huge Johnny fan, and I'm like, I love that he can make fun of himself because.
Well, I love that, but also I love the fact that people actually thought he was being serious.
Yeah.
Do you guys know? Does Georgia and Heather? Do you guys know what we're talking about?
No,
I
not
know
really.
of it, but I haven't seen it.
There's basically the episode's conception is that you follow Warwick Davis is this he's struggling actor, and they've got a documentary crew following him around. That's and he's not obviously a struggling actor. He's one of the most renowned actors in the world. But in one of the episodes, he goes to meet Johnny Depp because Johnny Depp is going to be playing a dwarf in a film, or a midget, or whatever they call him these days, in a film he's got coming up, and he wants to meet Warwick so he can take notes on how he reacts and how he acts in life. But he takes these notes through a dictaphone in front of Warwick. And then later on, Warwick takes him to meet Ricky Gervais, and this is after Ricky Gervais had done the Golden Globes. And Johnny walks into the room, and he puts out his cigarette in Ricky Gervais's mug of tea, and he goes, "I'm going to be making a film pretty soon. Do you want to guess who the director is?" And Ricky goes, "Tim Burton." Johnny goes, "How do you know that?" "Guess who the leading lady's going to be?" Ricky
Me.
goes, "Shot in the dark. Helena Bonham Carter."
It's just so funny how like it's always those three, Like I saw this one sketch online where it was like Tim Burton was trying to make a movie and he had like all of his people there, and they weren't even listening to what he was saying. They were just like texting each other, being like, "Get Helena Bonham Carter on the phone and get Johnny Depp too. We know we're gonna need them."
I think the most brilliant film they've ever done together is probably Well, actually, no. I don't even think Tim Burton was a part of it. Sweeney Todd. I don't think Tim Burton was a part of
Yeah,
it.
he directed that.
Yeah, he did.
Was he? I thought that was all,
Yeah.
what's his name?
No, they could never escape Tim Burton.
I thought that was all, I think it was Steven Soderbergh or something.
No, that
Well,
was
that's
that
his
was
music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Steven Sondheim.
Steven Sondheim, yeah.
I think my favourite, my oh god, see, the thing is, I got a few. One of my favourites is obviously Out of His Hands. I love that film, but I love Sleepy Hollow as well. A lot of people
Sleepy
don't
Hollow is
like
really
it.
good.
Maybe I'll.
I love that Sleepy Hollow film.
People give it a lot of crap because you can't take it seriously, and I'm like, well, that's kind of the point.
It's a headless horseman. Why would you want to take that seriously?
Wait, what was Helena Bonham Carter in that? I don't remember.
No, that was Miranda
No.
Richardson. Tim Burton's then wife was in it. She's the mother of Ichabod Crane. That was his then wife or girlfriend or whatever. So she was always popping up in his films.
Yes.
Because she was,
Yes, you're right.
she was
Okay, I'm
Mars
gonna have
Attacks as well.
I
That's
think
dumb.
I remember watching Sweeney Todd for the first time when I'm like, I walked out and I'm like, that was like one of the best movies I've ever seen ever. I thought it was really good, and then I still
is.
watch it. I
It
still
is,
watch
yeah.
it to this day, and I'm like, people don't give this movie enough attention. Why wasn't this nominated for any awards? Because this is a really good musical. People complain about movie musicals not being as good these days, and I'm like, have you seen Sweeney Todd? It's really good.
Yeah, I did. I really like that film. I saw it in the cinema, and I got it on DVD, and I really do like it. I don't think Johnny Depp can sing, but I just think the film itself is really well done.
I actually, one of my friends got me a Johnny Depp book one year for my birthday, and
Oh my God.
I found out that he was actually one of his first film roles. I think I talked about this last time. One of his first film roles was a John Waters film called Crybaby. I think this was even before he had the Nightmare on Elm Street role, and he sings in that, but it's not him singing; it's someone else singing, and he's just lip syncing to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I guess he wasn't as confident singing, or he didn't have the right voice for the movie, because it's really like a really jazzy John Waters film. It's almost like, it's very like Grease-esque music. So I guess maybe they thought he didn't have the voice for it, but
Have you seen Have you seen the 21 Jump Street film?
Not yet, no. I know he's in it,
His
though.
his cameo in that is absolutely hilarious.
Really? Yeah, I had a friend
Yes.
who saw it, and I'm like, man, the trailers kind of make this look like crap. I don't know if I want to see it. But then I had friends who saw it, and they're like, wow, it's actually really funny.
It is really funny. It surprised me because I'm not the biggest fan of like, Channing Tatum and so, but I was really impressed. It's a very funny film.
I watched a Channing Tatum movie last night. It was the one he did with Rachel McAdams called The Vow, and it's based off of true events where like this woman gets in a car crash and they're married. Channing Tatum and Rachel McAdams are married, and she loses her memory, which I asked my mom because she used to work in the medical field, and I'm like, isn't that still like a really rare condition? Like, they have people who gain amnesia all the time in movies and they like lose their memory completely. And I'm like, isn't that like pretty rare? And she's like, I mean, kinda. It doesn't happen as much as they like say it does in movies. But she loses her memory, and
I've got a friend who it happened to, and he got it through judo. He used to do judo when he was younger, and he got thrown and landed badly and completely forgot who he was for about 3 months.
Wow.
Oh my god, my boyfriend does judo.
Oh god.
Damn it.
Abort.
No, I think amnesia does exist. Like, even what do they say? Like, if you have like a severe enough stroke, you can get amnesia.
Yeah, like frontal head trauma or something.
Yeah. And that movie, what I've heard about it, and I've heard it's kind of cheesy. And from what I've seen, it really just seems like a more serious version of 50 First Dates. Or it's just like, he has to, she has amnesia and she doesn't know who he is. Yeah. So he has to like tell her make her fall in love with him again. And it's all sappy.
But the thing is, like, by the end of the movie, spoiler alert, but this is a true story, so you can look it up online. But she never got her memory back. Like, they had to completely rebuild their relationship. And I mean, I thought it was good. I thought it was really cheesy, but I mean, Channing Tatum is like extremely charming to me, so
effectively what was calling him a potato earlier.
Effectively, what you're saying is that he had to make her remember him all over again, which meant that the sex was obviously going to be new and exciting again.
Yeah.
I did that to Rachel McAdams if I could.
I mean, I'm not saying I like the movie strictly because like I saw his butt in it a couple times, but I mean.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I am.
I got a huge crush on Rachel McAdams, so I'd be happy with that. With Rachel McAdams being in it.
I don't think you ever see Rachel McAdams naked in the movie, but
no,
definitely see Channing Tatum.
I've seen The Notebook.
Oh yeah, well, I thought it was good though.
Who made me watch that? So
I think I'm the only woman on earth who hasn't seen The Notebook.
I haven't seen it.
Yay! I'm so
I haven't seen it all the way through.
No, I fell asleep.
My best friend actually used to love that movie, but now she can't stand it because she's seen it too many times.
I don't like those movies in general. So.
Yeah, she did that too with Titanic. She said she used to like it, but now she can't stand it because it's just on TV constantly.
Really?
Yeah.
It's hardly ever on over here.
They show it on TV here all the time.
You're lucky.
And the DVD it's always released on limited edition as well. Like Cameron will always like reissue it every 4 or 5 years in a different format or setting or something.
Oh my god, what a whore.
It's very tricky.
He already makes like these giant movies that have like the last few movies he's made have made like $1 billion, and so he's like, what does he do? I'm gonna keep these.
Yeah.
He has that Titanic, which earned over $1 billion, and then he has Avatar, which earned over $2 billion. So he's sitting pretty at the top of the tree at the minute.
Oh yeah. I actually had a friend of mine who he loves Avatar so much, and I'm like, oh my god, like I facepalm. I'm like, oh my god, stop loving Avatar so much. But he bought a PlayStation 3. Just so he could have a Blu-ray player, so he could buy like the huge special edition Avatar
Wow.
which comes with like a 2-disc Blu-ray, like 2-disc DVD digital copy, and it's like in this really nice box. And he bought a $400 PlayStation 3 just so he could have a Blu-ray player. And he wanted a PlayStation anyway, but he's like, I mainly want it for the Blu-ray player. I'm like,
couldn't he have
crazy.
gotten a Blu-ray player?
I know, but he also wanted a PlayStation. And
We didn't get that.
Really?
Yeah, we didn't get that though. For Avatar, we got a single standard DVD, just that's it, just the film. And then like a year later, they released a 2-disc DVD with alternate cuts, so they put it on 2 discs and making of, and that's the Blu-ray as well. It's just like we get really really shit extras in this country when it comes to DVDs and sort of stuff. I mean, the Screen 4 DVD. I had to buy the American one because the Screen 4 DVD in this country literally comes with the film and a trailer. And, the Screen 4 American one comes with the commentary and the outtakes and the making of and all sorts of stuff like that. It's just like, I'm going to get that.
Yeah, Fran was really angry when Avengers came out over there, and she said, we didn't get anything on the DVD.
No, we got nothing. We got absolutely
No, I know
nothing.
what you mean. I ordered my copy online. I think it's from Europe too, because it didn't have any extras, and like after the trailers were over, it said some of these movies may not be available in certain territories, and I'm like, yeah, this isn't American.
Yeah, I mean the Doctor Who DVDs in this country, because Panda and me were talking about this. In this country, you'll get the original from the first series 1 to 4, pretty much. Yeah, series 1 to 4. You get commentary on every episode, making of, behind the scenes, outtakes, all sorts of sort of stuff like that, diaries, everything, confidential as well. Panda's French version of that had nothing. It just had the episodes. So I was like, I told him, buy them in this country. You can play them. It's European, it's region 2. She'll have no problem. So he started doing that as well.
Why do you think like your DVDs don't have that many extras?
I don't know. I really don't know.
That would frustrate the hell out of me, man.
I know. That's why I buy them That's why I buy the American versions, because I don't know why. And the money. I don't know if it's something to do with money. I don't know if it's something to do with they want to get more money, so they not release it and then release it as a special edition later on. Because
I think that's it.
That's probably it. Yeah. I mean, the Saw DVDs. They did this every year for the first 3 years of Saw. They would release the DVD, and then a month before the new film was going to come out, they'd release a special edition, which I was okay with, because the special edition was worth it. It was stuff I recorded specifically for that DVD. So like Saw 1, the special edition of that, it's Lee Whannell, James Wan, and Cary Elwes doing the commentary. And I even say, this is for the special edition. So it's, material that was designed specifically for that DVD. And I don't mind that, but I don't like it when it's, stuff they just don't put on the disc because they're going to re-release it in a couple of months under, a special edition when, it's been out in America the whole time or something.
Yeah, that is
That bugs the hell out of me.
You know how DVDs have that region thing? Do they have those on Blu-rays?
Yes.
You'd think they would have gotten rid of those for Blu-rays. Since they serve no purpose.
Yeah, we gotta make it more complicated.
It's the region thing. It's video consoles have it. It's just a way to lock something to it. Then of course if you can unlock your DVD or your computer or your console or chip it, then it's not much of a problem. And I don't have a unlocked DVD player. No, I don't.
Totally not.
No, I adhere to the law. Yes. Yes, because that's wrong. That's very, very wrong.
I think I started buying like special editions with Blu-rays in them before we even had like a PlayStation 3, because that's the only thing we could play Blu-rays on at my house. But it was before we even had I bought the special edition. It was like a Blu-ray digital copy, DVD copy of a Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the American version, because I loved that movie so much, and I was just like, I want like this special, really cool looking copy, and all the special things were on the Blu-ray, and it's the same with my Thor copy, which has the digital copy, DVD, and Blu-ray. All the special features are on the Blu-ray. But now I can actually watch them because I have a PlayStation. So,
Hooray.
but I was buying Blu-rays before I even had anything to buy Blu-rays on, and I'm like, I'm bad at this.
For the longest time, I was like, I'm not going to buy Blu-rays. It's just an excuse to make you rebuy all the movies you have. And then I got like one, and I was like, well, fuck.
Might as well buy others.
Buy all of the Blu-rays.
I know, I'm worried about falling into that trap too. Like, my dad, I think he like won a Blu-ray player somewhere, like he went to a party, so now we have one, but it's not connected and we don't have any Blu-rays. So I'm just like wondering, when am I just gonna have to start buying all that shit, you know? 'Cause I really don't want to. I like my DVDs, you know?
I'm like scared of high def because
I like my videotapes.
Can I explain why I'm like scared of high def?
Sure, yeah, tell.
I went over to my best friend's house, and when she was home, it's her parents' house, and they got a new TV, and I was looking at the TV, and it was like way too high def. Like, I guess that's what people were talking about when they went to go see that special version of The Hobbit, which I didn't know what people were talking about at first. I don't even remember what it's called, but they're like, yeah, I saw this. It was like, I don't even know. It was like super high def version of The Hobbit, like the way it was filmed or something, where it just looks like way too real. And my best friend's parents have that TV, where I guess that's the same thing. And I'm like, this is like too weird. I can't watch this TV. I had to walk out of the room. I'm like, I can't watch your parents' TV. It's really weird. And she's like,
yeah,
are
man.
you high? And I'm
the
like,
Hobbit's
no,
real? Where are we?
it's really weird that like the movements on even like really old black and white movies are like really like weird. I can't explain it at all, but like if you've seen that really high def version of The Hobbit that they released in theaters, where it was like they had two different versions of The Hobbit, where it was like one was like the regular version and then the other was shot like a different way, and people said they saw it in the different way, and they're like, this is really weird, but it's pretty cool because I can see everything.
So like something frames per second or something they shot it.
Yeah,
in.
like really high frames per second.
Yeah, I remember the outcry about it. Yeah, the extended cut of The Hobbit's out soon, and that's another thing about DVD Blu-ray. I really hope that they have exactly the same amount of extras on the DVD that they have on Blu-ray, because I've got the extended cuts of The Lord of the Rings on DVD, and I like them on my shelf, and I want to put the 3 Hobbit films next to that, and I don't want to, to have to get this sort of shoddy version of a DVD when, the Blu-ray gets this immaculate set of extras and commentaries and all the other sort of crap. Because I like the commentaries on the Lord of the Rings set. They're really entertaining and interesting.
Yeah.
And
I hope those.
Yeah, and I love listening to them. And I really hope, I'm not expecting that same amount of commentaries, because The Lord of the Rings to me is just like this 1 in a million thing. It should not have worked. It did work for some reason. It just worked. You can't repeat that. It's the same with Harry Potter. You cannot repeat that. So I'm just hoping.
Excited about the new one.
Which one?
The new one coming out in Christmas.
The Hobbit 2, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah,
everyone's freaking out about him.
Definition of smog. Yeah, Cumberbatch has just become I always knew though, as soon as I've always loved him in Sherlock and sort of stuff like that, and I just knew as soon as he did that turn in Star Trek, he become a megastar after that. It's going to happen, because he's a fantastic actor. That's the thing. He is a fantastic actor. And he just needed, to really, and it's amazing to think, it just like turns of fate. It's like Matt Smith went in for the role of Watson, and it was because of that he was like considered for the Doctor. Benedict went in for the role of the Doctor. It's all this sort of stuff, It's just like if something had happened, Matt wouldn't have been the Doctor, he would have been Watson, and Benedict wouldn't have been Sherlock, he'd have been the Doctor. Well, where would we be now with all this sort of stuff? I think it's amazing that.
I love stuff like that.
He's part of that circle of British actors right now that have this huge, like, following of women, like Benedict Cumberbatch, Martin Freeman, Tom Hiddleston, Matt Smith,
Martin
David
Freeman,
Tennant.
really?
A lot of women love Martin Freeman.
Well, yeah, he's adorable, but that's as far as I'd go. I don't
like it because he's also really sassy, which is fantastic.
Sassy.
Yeah. But it's this like huge, just this special VIP exclusive group of all these current British actors right now, and like Benedict Cumberbatch is like the king of them.
I still want to see Matt Smith and Benedict Cumberbatch, because they did a thing together where they presented Stephen Moffat with an award, and they were playing off each other and having a lot of fun. And Matt's actually taller than Benedict, which I didn't expect. But I'd love to see those two in a film together, or it's just something together. You could just see them react, because they're Moffat boys. They basically, through Moffat's writing, they've been given the world stage, that sort of stuff. Because Moffat obviously with Sherlock and with Doctor Who, and him casting Benedict as Sherlock and casting Matt as the Doctor. It really sort of gave him this platform, and that's why Benedict has always said he will stay with Sherlock, for as long as humanly possible, because it was the show that gave him his break.
I'm sure they'll have something together, because if their fan base is that big, then it's just only a matter of time,
People
I
love
hope so.
Ben Cumberbatch.
I hope so. It's the sort of thing. It's that weird thing with Britain. It's just that you'd think all these actors have worked together, or they know each other and they've worked together, and it's they do, but usually it's on like big collab sort of things, like Harry Potter. I mean, Harry Potter featured nearly every British actor alive. I think the only person they missed out was Bob Hoskins. But I think he was at one point considered for a role, but then he got ill. But it's a sort of thing where I'd love to see them in something together. It's just like Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul. I'd love to see them in a film together. So Walter White and Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad. Because they've got sparkling chemistry, so I'd love to see those two in a film together.
I'd love to see, how they had that movie, This Is the End with James Franco and Seth Rogen and stuff. I'd love to see a sequel to that with like Benedict Cumberbatch, David Tennant, Tom Hiddleston, Matt Smith, all of these like Dan Radcliffe, Alan Rickman.
So a British version of that film.
Yeah, basically.
Apocalypse.
Have all the British actors that Tumblr loves and just put them in a film, and then like it'll make billions of dollars.
No, it wouldn't be called The British like the End. It'd be called This Is Tumblr.
This is Tumblr, yeah. That would work so well. Speaking of English things, I was angry at Fran because she lives in London, and this past week they had the Thor 2 premiere in London. I was really angry at her because she wasn't there, trying to give Tom Hiddleston my number.
How dare she?
And giving my number to Chris Hemsworth with a little note under it saying, if it doesn't work out.
Greer, you slut.
Because
I would have done the same thing. Well, I don't know about Chris Hemsworth.
I mean, I love Chris Hemsworth and his wife, but I'm like, if it doesn't work out, then you need someone to go to.
I think Chris Hemsworth is awesome. Because he's. I didn't realize he was the Captain Kirk's husband, father.
Wow.
I
didn't realize he was Captain Kirk's father in that Star Trek film until way later.
I want to see him. I'm glad he's doing more dramatic roles. Like he just did that movie Rush, which I probably would have gone and seen anyway, even though I know nothing about Formula One racing. But I mean, I heard a review saying, like, I know nothing about Formula One racing, but this was still a good film. And I'm like, I would have gone, I didn't have any money, so I didn't get to go see it. But, I mean, I want him to do more dramatic acting because I know he's a good actor, and people don't recognize him for it, and it sucks. But because people just know him as Thor, and they're like, oh, he's in those silly superhero movies. And I'm like, well, he's, like, a very good actor,
They're not silly movies. I mean, really, the first Thor, like the first half of it, is almost Shakespearean. This is how they talk and act.
Oh yeah.
That's Branagh though. That's Branagh.
Oh, absolutely. I know that's totally him.
That's why I'm looking forward to Thor 2 because Alan Taylor did most of it and he directed a lot of episodes of Game of Thrones. So I'm just like, this is gonna be like Game of Thrones on crack.
Whoa. Yeah, I can't wait for Thor 2. Everyone.
As far as the Avengers goes, though, I think you need obviously Downey Jr. He's like the Jack Sparrow of the franchise. You always need him there. But I think Hemsworth has put himself in that position now where you really can't see it without him as well.
Yeah.
Because he was so good in Thor. He was so good in the Avengers, and you just know, just from the trailer, you've seen how good he is and how much he's matured in, to play this part in Thor 2. So I'd say, him and maybe Chris Evans as well. I think, those three are the sort of like prime faces. I mean, I like the guy, Ruffalo as well. I like him as well. But
yeah, I'm at the point where I don't care about any other Bruce Banners. I'm like Edward Norton, no. Eric Bana, no. I'm just like, after one movie, I'm like, you are Bruce Banner. Don't you ever leave this franchise.
Well, I know Hemsworth has signed up for both Avengers films, and I think he's contracted for one more Thor film.
Yeah. I would love more Thor films so much.
He's around.
I can't wait for Avengers 2. I'm so excited, but it's too
Chris Evans has said that he's got the two. I think everybody signed up for the Avengers films. I think everybody's on board for that. I think Downey Jr. was the last one who they needed to sign up for, because his deal was complicated because he's got like merchandise rights in the deal. He's basically got the Jack Nicholson deal where he gets money for the merchandise sold. Mm-hmm. Although saying that, Jack Nicholson also got to choose his hours. So
I'm still kind of surprised that he's going to be in the Avengers sequel because of Iron Man 3 ended. But I mean, I've been told that that happens in the comics, but he still comes back as Iron Man, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, I think in the comics as well, he actually becomes a controller, so he doesn't fight every now and again. He's more of an instinct. He's more of a sort of a behind the scene, more of what they were talking about him being when they said, Iron Man, we want Iron Man, we don't want Tony Stark. Mm-hmm. So he becomes sort of that Nick Fury type thing where he's sort of behind the scenes. He's still front and center, but he's not out there fighting.
Yeah.
I can't really see that though, because he's like such an arrogant guy. Like you think he wouldn't want anybody else doing the fights. That would take away.
He's such a big personality. I think he'd stick out anyway. So.
Well, no, Downey Jr.'s got so much charisma. It's you can't deny that.
My mother and I will always talk about, because I'll come up to her and I say, Mom, I think it is just, I don't know how he went from because when you look at Robert Downey Jr., the first films he ever did, he was so nerdy looking. He was not very attractive at all. And then
that's because he was on a lot of drugs.
And then he went through the drug phase, and then he got out of the drug phase, and then he was gorgeous. And I'm like, what happened? What happened?
The interesting thing about him was he's always been a good actor. I mean, literally, if you see something how he's phenomenal in that film. And then, they brought him into Ally McBeal, and he virtually saved that series of the season he was in of Ally McBeal. He saved that series because the series was on the verge of cancellation, and he came in and he was so charismatic and so funny. But one of the things I read about him was when he was coked out of his mind and drugged up and all sort of stuff like that, he was on a movie set, filming a film. And he was he was sitting in his chair. They were filming it. They were setting up shots. He was sitting there completely coked out of his mind. He didn't know where he was. He didn't know what he was doing. The director showed it action. He stood up, walked over to his mark. He did everything he was supposed to do. And then he went back and sat down and collapsed out again. So he always had it. He just had his demons.
Oh, yeah.
But, even then when he was going through all that shit and all those problems and really sort of drugged up and really off the rails, he still had the talent.
Yeah, that is real flip side. I totally respect that. Even and it's good that he got off the junk and stuff, because he really did. It really is just his career has just been so revived.
Yeah, it has.
Congrats to him, because he really is talented. I haven't seen a lot of his stuff, but the stuff I have seen, he was really good in.
He's a genuine sort of success story in terms of, I mean, Lindsay Lohan could do this, because I'm not a huge fan of Lindsay Lohan, but she had that it factor. If you watch Mean Girls and watch stuff like that, mm-hmm. She had that it factor, and if she could just pull herself together and
I know what you mean. I felt bad for her too, because she was a good actress, and then just, I don't know, life just turned her upside down and stuff. And I was
she did that Liz and Dick movie, which a lot of people didn't like, but I at least thought she was acting good in it. Like she was good in it. It was just everything else in the movie was not good. The writing was good, and
she's the modern day Downey Jr. in terms of, she's got this talent, she's got this it factor, she's got a ton of charisma. She just needs to sort herself out, and it's obviously the difference you've got is that Lindsay Lohan's got a pair of pathetic parents.
Oh yeah.
Downey Jr. didn't have that problem.
Means, if she's the new Robert Downey Jr., that means like 10, 15 years from now, Lindsay Lohan will be Iron Man.
That would be amazing.
Iron Woman.
She would be like the new Pepper Potts or something. Like
the new the female empowerment thing, isn't it? So it will be Iron Woman, because people are going to say how sexist it is to just have an Iron Man, and the feminist groups will complain, and will be where it end.
No, you're right. It'd be Iron Woman, but it would still be fun.
Video games brought out where the video games women have to save the video game men, and oh god. The Malinists are going to start making videos complaining about this as well. It's going to be non-stop.
Something has a man in it, it's sexist. People
are
trying to give that to me, like people were like talking about when The Last of Us came out. And that's probably like my favorite game of the year that I played this year. It was brilliant. And then it's like, but you play as a man, and you're walking a man. And I'm like, I don't give a shit.
You do play as a woman in it. You play as Ellie through parts of it. She saves Joel's life.
Yeah.
I think the issue is more the fact that it's whenever you play a woman, it's the odd game out, as opposed to it being more equal. Not necessarily that just because it's a man, it's automatically bad.
Yeah. There are people who are like that though, and I'm like, I don't care. Am I the only one who did not care that I was playing as a man? Like, I don't care. Was I the only one that was not thinking of that the entire time I was going through this emotional roller coaster that is that game? I was too busy wrapped up in my own tears. Excuse me.
I think it's one of the things that I think that I have I never read into these things as much as other people, but I do that with films as well, because some of the guys that some of the guys who they're fans of Doctor Who and they're fans of films and stuff like that, they read into films so much, and I just go, well, I liked it, and they'll go, oh, how could you like that? And they'll go into these long things about that happened in the film. I'll go, yeah, I didn't occur to me. I just enjoyed the film. Mike J, when we were at a convention in Leicester a couple of months ago, he said he's always wanted to do a crossover with me because I always seem to find something positive in anything I'm doing. And it's like, yeah, because, I just don't think I can really hate anything. It's just, no matter what it is, somebody's actually tried to put this together. And it's just like, you've got to find something good in it. It's just like, Killjoy 2, I've not seen Killjoy 3 yet. Backwards Bloodbath.
Yeah.
Very bad films, but there's still stuff in there to enjoy.
Yeah. I think even really awful films that like Birdemic or something, I can still look at that awesome. I can still look at that and be like, that looks like a really nice coat hanger.
They really splurged on that one.
10 out of 10 would buy.
The coat hanger budget was out, through the roof.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the sequel, and I don't care what anybody says. Those movies are great.
Just like Sharknado 2, the second, or Sharknado 2, the Sharkening, that's what I'm going to call it. I refuse to call it the second one. I'm going to call it the Sharkening.
The Sharkening one is so funny!
But the Sharkening is what it should have been.
Sharknado 2, the Sharkening. I like that.
Yeah.
Have you seen Sharknado?
I have not. No, I've seen the DVD cover, but that's as far as I go.
Oh my god, you have to see it. It's so funny. I know the critic and Snob reviewed it, and it was a good review, but
cinematic masterpiece.
I don't think it does it justice, because they don't, they say the movie's stupid, and it's like, yeah, it's stupid, but you're not really talking about how funny it is.
Yeah, it is really funny.
It's stupid. It's, the Asylum. It's Sci-Fi Channel. Duh. Of course it's stupid, but it's fun stupid.
Yeah. Mike J has that series called The Asylum Seeker. He hasn't actually done it in a while, but I really enjoy that series, because I'm like, oh, a lot of these I haven't actually seen. I've seen Sharktopus, I've seen Sharknado, I've seen most of the ones that have a shark in them. I've usually seen, because they're on Sci-Fi all the time. Ghost Shark, seen it. The Megalodon thing, I've seen that. Most of the ones with killer fish in them, I have seen. But I haven't seen the one about the Titanic or
I know Matty Buck did. Was it Mega Piranha?
Seen Mega Piranha.
Oh wow.
I think he did a bad movie done at that. I'm thinking I'm still not 100% sure about it yet, but I'm thinking of April 1st, because I always do an April Fool's video or something for April 1st. I'm thinking I might do, because it might not even go on site. I might be completely off site by then. But if I'm not, I'm still doing it anyway. It's going to be a bad movie beatdown of Nerdquest, with me doing an impression of Matty Buck in the video.
Oh wow, that's great.
Through the whole video, because I did a Mike J impression in my April Fool last one before I was at Harry Potter and the Woman in Black.
Oh yeah.
So I'm thinking about doing that. I'm thinking about it because I do Matty Buck impressions all the time anyway.
Totally do that. Just accentuate your vowels.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Well, it's just, the fun thing, of course, is that Matt's in it, I'm in it, Mike's in it, we're all in it. So it'd just be, I'm thinking the material there is, I could just pretty much do a bad movie beatdown review style, just pretending to be Matt.
Yeah, go for it. It'll be hilarious.
I wanted to talk about the shit Take What Take fans say videos, because those are like my lifeblood. Because I swear to God, I would have made those videos like years ago, but what pushed you to start to do those videos? Because like I think so many of us would have done the same thing, but it's just
well, pushed us. It's just me and Panda, just being me and Panda. We just we like making fun of people. We like making fun of ourselves, and I think Lewis sums it up best. He said, you have fun with it. He said, you teach us not to take it too seriously. And that's the thing. I don't think at no point have I ever taken what we do seriously. I couldn't, because to me it's just a hobby.
Yeah.
There are people, and well done to them. It's their life now. They earn their living from this, but it's not my life. So while I will pick at people, I will never pick at them personally. So you'll never see me. I've said this to Doug, because me and Doug got a talk about this, and it wasn't like a harsh conversation. It was just Doug sort of saying, when does trolling end and sort of stuff. And I said, you will never see me pick at someone's personal relationships or personality off-site. You'll always see me or Panda make fun of someone for their character, for their interactions, for how they are on camera. You'll never see, an example. If Brad or Panda himself, me and Panda were having a conversation about something very personal, that would never end up in a video. It's just, you've got to know where that line is, and that's where I think, it's fun to troll and sort of stuff like that, but we troll the character. We don't troll the actual person. Mm-hmm. So that's something that we're very, very, very insistent on, because you could. I don't want to be an Ace Alieri. I don't want to be a complete dick like that. And that's to me that's the key thing. But it's the fun as well. Should we have fun? Because right now we're scripting a Shit That Guy with the Glasses producers say as the third one, and a Shit That Guy with the Glasses fans say, which is our first one. And we're having a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say, the producers one. You haven't done a fans one yet, but I cannot wait for that one, because
as we speak, it's being written literally.
Oh my God.
As I speak. I keep adding stuff to it. So after we finish this podcast today, me and Panda are going to have for an hour meeting where we're going to nail everything out and then get it all done.
Yes.
Awesome. Good luck.
It's a
because that's one thing about the fans. That's whenever controversy happens, I cannot help but laugh, unless it is something serious. But then, usually the people that are talking about it, I just have to laugh, because it's this is getting blown so out of proportion. And
that makes me laugh. At the same time, it's frustrating, because you get people who will put their side of the story forward, and they have no idea, absolutely no idea, and they just assume all this stuff, and I'm just oh God, So I'll make fun of that. I'll make fun of that. If I get the material, I will make fun of it. I will troll it, because I just think it's absolutely ridiculous sometimes, that the amount of stories that people build up about situations that they have no idea about.
And usually it's usually the ones I have to laugh at are the people who oh, Doug made a video, oh, he made a joke that offended me. That obviously means that he likes to kill kittens. And I'm like, he made a kitten killing... This is an example. I don't know if he's actually made a joke like this. But he's like, I felt offended when Doug said he was going to kill a cat because I have a cat. And I'm like... And then there are like 10 posts about it on Tumblr saying like, everyone is so offended and this is dumb. And I'm like... Oh my god.
I think it's usually whenever he dares to question.
I'm just sitting back eating popcorn and I'm like...
It's like, he reviewed the movie I really like. He's worse than Hitler.
Yeah, that's another thing. He reviewed this movie I like. He's worse than Hitler.
The problem we've got, and this is something the internet is like, as great as the internet is for communication and bringing people together and sort of stuff like that, it's giving people such a thin skin because you can just shut out any criticism. And so then when you are actually criticized in the real world or something like that, you just don't know how to handle it. Just like I come from I'm 31 now, so I come from a long list of getting name calling and sort of stuff like that. So I've got a thick skin, and it doesn't bother me when people say I'm wrong, or when people say they don't agree with me, or people say they don't like something I like and sort of stuff like that. But you've got younger people who are so thin-skinned that just to hear you say I don't like that, to them it's like a personal insult, and they will block you and claim you're bullying them and sort of stuff like that. And just like for God's sake, grow up and get some life experience.
Yeah. Because I'm like they're like, and this happens so much in like the anime fandoms and stuff, especially in the anime fandoms because everybody is a child, I swear to God. But as someone who's been in the anime fandom since around like 2005. It's like a hell. Like, you go through, like, you're walking on glass when you say, I don't like this certain series that, like, everybody likes. Like, if you say, like, oh, I didn't really enjoy Neon Genesis Evangelion. But I'm at the point where, like, especially with the more popular series, like Evangelion, or, like, series that are like really weird, and I'm like, I can totally understand why you don't like that series. It is okay. Either it's because of the fandom, or it's because like there are things in it that are like really deep or whatever, and I'm like, I can totally understand why you don't like this thing. I'm at the point where I'm just like, I completely get it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time, the best conversations you can have like that are with people who don't like things you don't like, because you can talk about it and you can see why that's why me and Matty Buck will never see eye to eye on the fact that I love Pirates of the Caribbean, the films. He doesn't like them. He hates World's End.
I love them. I
love Pirates of the Caribbean 3, and his argument is always, oh, it's be marketed to kids. I'm just like, yeah, it's not. It's a PG-13 or whatever like that. That's not kids.
I love all the Pirates films, and I don't understand why people don't like them.
No, I love them. I saw Pirates 3 in LA.
Actually, I could get why people don't like the later ones, but I'm like, I still like them anyway.
Yeah,
I can completely understand.
You might have gone back and forth on that. You said we did it in a video. We had I popped up in his Pirates 3 review where I sort of like did my was it 2-3 minutes of like why I like the film. And he hates it. I love it, but it doesn't change our friendship. We're still friends.
Oh yeah. I have, and again, back to,
I tread carefully in fandoms too. Like, I know what you mean. Actually, I usually just keep my mouth shut because you never know what'll set people off. Mm-hmm. Like, you could just say I agree with what you're saying, and then someone will be like, no, you can't agree with that. You must be like some kind of communist asshole or something. Like, people are really like I've seen it, and like. Hell, and just like the Channel Awesome Facebook thing, like, people are really, really sensitive. So sometimes it's just better to just watch and not say anything,
It'll even happen in, like, things that aren't related. It'll even happen in things that aren't related to media, like politics.
Georgia,
yeah, oh God.
You know me well enough to know that I have to twist the knife if I can.
Wait, what was that?
Have you ever known me not to say anything if I get a chance to say something that's going to rattle a few cages?
Well, that's besides the point. I'm talking about other people. You're just that's a whole other story. Oh,
I feed off that kind of crap. It's awesome.
I know. I've seen you post. You're like, yes, it feeds me.
I'll deliberately put stuff in my videos to get a reaction out of people. I'm really disappointed when I don't get that reaction.
I actually think that in like music fandoms that's really bad too, because people are like, I hate Lady Gaga, and I'm like, by this point, and I love Lady Gaga, but by this point I'm like, I get why you don't, and it's okay. But then they're like, she has this entire fandom that is just full of people who will like send you death threats, which is completely against what Lady Gaga is, all about.
That's the crazy thing. It's just like some of these fandoms, like they could just be about the most innocent thing, and yet they'll get death threats. It's like, what is wrong with people? If you don't like something, you don't have to kill them about it.
Yeah.
Like, I disagree with some people's points of view, but I'm not gonna send them threatening letters about it. Mainly because nobody writes letters anymore. But that's besides the point. It's just messed up sometimes.
I think it has a lot to do with Twitter, because with Twitter you could just type and it's just out there, just immediately. And you don't really have time to, most people don't really think about it because it's just there. You just type something and it's just out there.
That's why I don't have a Twitter, because I would probably write horrible things and regret it later.
That's why I have a Twitter, because I don't think about things before I act. So.
And I regret nothing.
Hey, I don't regret anything either. I've had to set all my things to like private, because it's like, looking for a job now, I wouldn't want people to find this crap.
That you do a podcast with a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah. No one will ever think to look here. What else is going on in the world today? I have no idea what's going on in the world.
Apparently, there's a couple people that have died today. Like, I keep seeing on Facebook.
What people died?
Lou Reed died, and Mrs. Krabappel died, from The Simpsons.
Master Wallace, yeah, that was sad. 70 years old, though.
Yeah, it's not a bad age, but still, like, it's, not good. But then I saw something, like, they said, they're gonna have her character retire, so, they have that work out, I guess.
Yeah, I assume she has, like, a bunch of lines, like, pre-recorded for future episodes and shit.
She's been ill for a while. The rumor is that they're going to kill. They were always going to kill off a character this series, but Al Jean came forward and he said it's not going to be her character, and they're probably what they're going to do is just retire her like they did all of Phil Hartman's characters. Because if you notice, after Hartman died, you never saw Troy McClure, you never saw Lionel Hutch, you never saw any of his characters again. They just sort of like let them retire. And I think that's what they'll do for her as well. And I think that's like the classiest way to do it, because she's been such an integral part of the show. She's been there since day one. To just to let the character retire and bring in a new teacher.
Mm-hmm.
But who would you replace her with? I mean,
Gil.
What?
Gil.
Oh no, I don't like Gil.
Gil, yeah.
He's such a weenie.
So Gil up 4.
I think that's kind of what they did with South Park when Isaac Hayes died. They just kind of
that was a whole
away.
ballpark.
They thought that they were horrible to his character when he left.
Oh yeah.
They made
him into a pedophile and then had him impaled, ripped apart. He shot himself.
I don't think that'll happen to Mrs. Krabappel. As much as Bart hated her, I really
To be
don't
fair,
think...
I'm pretty sure Isaac Hayes, by the time he died, he was like, yeah, I don't like being associated with that show. Because he was all Scientology and stuff by then.
Yeah, he got mad because they made fun of Scientology.
Yeah.
He said they were rude to Scientologists, and that's why he left, which was just hypocritical considering they were rude to something else.
Oh my god, that show. I saw the first episode of the premiere of South Park, but I haven't watched any more since then. Is it any good this season? Has anyone watched it this season?
The episodes I've seen are good. Like I don't know, they're not posting them on demand anymore. Like once they release a new episode, it's not there. So I haven't really been catching up that much either. But what I have seen, it does seem pretty good.
They did one on Minecraft that I haven't seen, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to watch it, but I haven't watched that yet.
The Minecraft is pretty funny.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my god, there are actually going to be jokes that I'm going to understand.
I still remember just the one episode that just stuck out so far for me was just the Trayvon Martin one. Like, oh my god.
Oh, I didn't see that one yet.
That was nuts. Like, I don't even know where to start. Like, it was good, but it was just like, whew.
Did they go there?
Oh, yeah, they went there.
They went there. Oh, my God.
Well, that's what they do, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
technically.
I'm still a South Park noob, but as far as I know, that's what they do. They go
Crossing
there.
that line.
There are no limits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I think, Mike Dodd posted something about how, at Halloween Horror Nights in Universal this year, or they usually always do a Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure show, and somebody wrote up an article about how offensive it is this year, like it's really homophobic because there's like a gay Superman, and I'm like, well, number one, I think everybody and their mom has made a gay Superman joke. I thought that was like a certainty of the universe. And number two, like I read through the whole thing, I'm like, this just sounds like an extremely average episode of South Park. Like, it has pop culture references, it's just full of things that are popular right now, and somebody made a race joke and a gay Superman joke, and that was about it. And I'm like, this just sounds like a really, like, mediocre episode of South Park. So, I'm not gonna get offended at this yet. That, and they've been doing that show for years. They change it up every single year depending on what's popular, which is, like, weird, because I don't even think that most of the shit in that show has anything to do with Bill and Ted, so I just find it kind of weird that they even have a Bill and Ted show there in the first place, because they're not really relevant anymore, but, you know.
We want to be topical, so what should we do? We're going to use these, like, 80s, 90s characters. That'll keep us topical.
Yep.
Apparently, they are making a sequel.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that,
Another
too.
Bill and Ted movie?
I just find it weird that they're, like, taking these 80s characters and are like, let's just, you know, what's popular right now? Nicki Minaj, Wreck-It Ralph, let's put it in there. And I'm like, alright, cool. Doesn't really make sense, but alright. But it's, like, one of the only, like, it's, like, that show that they have every year, and usually, like, a Rocky Horror tribute show at Halloween Horror Nights, so it's, like, you either see that, or you have fun at a Rocky Horror show, so pick one. You want to watch South Park, or do you want to go see Rocky Horror? Mostly I pick Rocky Horror every time, but, you know.
Well, who wouldn't?
I pick anything over Rocky Horror every day.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys. I'm eating while I'm doing this. So.
I wish I was.
It's nearly what's the time here now? Nearly. I don't know. I can't see a watch anymore.
Well, it's 2:30 over here, so.
6:30. There you go. It's just gone 6:30. Okay, guys. I'm gonna have to wrap this up pretty soon because me and Panda have got to do some work. So, just want to say, is there anything you want to ask? Otherwise, I'll be chatting about because I can answer.
You better be at the Nerf gun fight at MagFest, or I will find you.
I'll be somewhere. You know, whether I don't
You
know.
have to do it. It'll be so much fun.
All right, I'll be there.
Yay! So they can shoot with Nerf darts.
I know. Lightning round, go.
What are you eating?
What did you say, Georgia?
I said, what are you eating? I don't know. I can't think of anything.
I'm eating lamb.
Favorite color?
Favorite color? Red.
TV show.
Oh God, The Simpsons.
What are you wearing? I don't know. Fuck.
T-shirt and shorts.
That's an appropriate question to end on. How appropriate.
Sure.
Okay, guys, I will go. Thank you for having me on, and Georgie, I will see you at MAG.
Yeah.
Goodbye, audience.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.